Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. Of course, we've got so much to talk about. Obviously, you see that headline. I'm a little confused. I don't know what Damian Lillard is trying to say. Hopefully, we can decipher this. Chris has got some stuff coming up in the post-up. We got to talk about the continued beef between Carmelo. I'm assuming Melo and George Karl. So we got to. I'm assuming that's what he said. I don't remember, but that's what we got to talk about. Plus, at the end, I'm a little concerned about these mascots, the level of research we have to do to find out what's going on. If it's on the list, just get rid of it. That's my standpoint. But before we get into all that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, share this with your friends. And now let's meet the Fumble Squad. I'm your host, Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Chris, you drinking tea today again?
No tea, just on regular water. No tea today.
I got a whole new mug. Compete with your. I figured you didn't.
Oh, you thought I was gonna bring Black Panther? Nah, I'm just on water. I'm hydrating today. Got the big boy with me.
Ooh, sounds like I went to this little cheap store and I was like, oh, they got all these mugs. So when Chris has a cool mug,
so you
like,
ready to go? I got to up my mug game because I just have the two. I just got the two mugs I go on repeat, so I got to up my mug game, I guess. Got
to up your mug game. Any plans for the weekend?
What are we doing this weekend? I'm finally getting my damn vaccine shot. Damn it, I'm getting my first one on Saturday. It kept getting postponed. It's a long story. Been talking about it over on my socials and stuff like that. But it's finally happening. So doing that tomorrow. Be on a few pods and just light work this weekend.
All right, just make sure it's not that Johnson & Johnson.
No. I'm over here getting the only one that was approved, Mr. Pfizer. I'm on the Pfizer. I'm on the Pfizer.
All right. Well, before we get into the need to know news, I saw a couple of you asking. We are not doing fan or foe today. We will let you know on Monday if we're going to pick that back up. But let's dive into our first need to know news. Because this is something that I feel like Chris and I can just go ahead and start this happy dance over, because this is something that we have wanted to see for quite some time. But who dat nation? It is official. JAMEIS Winston is our starting quarterback. The fact that this is even a thing is just, yes. You know what I mean? It's like the fact that we had to wait this long is just insane to me. Sean Payton has this man crush on Taysom Hill that I can't quite explain, but it's definitely a love affair. That's number one. For sure. Drew Brees passed it off to JAMEIS, though, and to me, in my head, when Drew Brees was like, "This is your team," that was going to make Sean Payton stand down from his man crush, but it did not. But finally, it's finally been announced that is JAMEIS is going to be our starting quarterback. Chris, I know you're just as happy as me, but how you feeling?
Look, we talk about now purchasing NFL merchandise. I'm going to be buying myself a JAMEIS Winston Saints jersey. I have been waiting 8 years to cheer for JAMEIS Winston again because I loved him in Florida State, but unfortunately went to my least favorite team in the entire league. So I guess I was like, all right, I'm not talking about him anymore. He's a Saint. He's my starting quarterback. I'm excited about it. Yeah, that love relationship between my man Shawnee P and Taysom Hill is hilarious. But at the same time, Taysom Hill is still going to have a good year because now Sean Payton can continue to do what he has been doing with Taysom Hill and throw him as the utility knife, doing fullback, halfback, tight end, quarterback, everything that he's normally been doing. So I feel like this is just a win-win situation across the board. Let JAMEIS Winston be the QB and let Taysom Hill continue to be the wild card that people are not going to know what they're getting from it. It works. It's been working. Why would you mess that up? So I'm excited about it all across the board. I'm ready for the season to start now.
Yeah, I'm excited. Jeremiah, I see you with the shade in the chat, said y'all starting 30 for 30 while y'all happy. First of all, it was 32 for 30. He threw more touchdowns than he did interceptions. That's number one. Number two, he's out here and he's been under Drew Brees for all this time. That is definitely going to help. And personally, I think if he has the exact same year that he had in 2019 minus those interceptions, we're playoff bound. So stop with the shade.
And he ain't going to be running for his damn life in New Orleans like he was for the Buccaneers. He would hike the ball and would have 3 dudes already on him, and that ain't going to be a problem in New Orleans. He got a line, one of the best lines in the game. I'm telling y'all, y'all keep sleeping on JAMEIS. That meme going to be gone this year. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you guys.
Jeremiah, put your football team in the chat so we can clown your team when our team got the better record, because you know I'm paid. I want to make sure.
And don't say Chiefs. Don't say Chiefs. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, don't say Chiefs because I'm going to think you made that up right now. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't say Chiefs. Don't say Buccaneers. Don't do that. I'm not buying that. But let's go on to some of these tweets, because I'm wondering from this first tweet if maybe Sean Payton didn't just have to relent, if Jameis had already won the locker room, because Jeremy Fowler, he's an ESPN reporter. He said Jameis Winston is receiving significant locker room support this week from the Saints, as for the Saints starting QB job, with many teammates treating him as if he is the starter or giving indications he will get the job per sources. So do you think that this is one of those things where they were just like, this is stupid, let's just rally behind the person that we believe should be our quarterback? Or do you think they kind of knew this before we did?
I think they just knew it before we did. Jameis Winston's just always been that boisterous character. Even when he was a backup, he had the locker room with him. I mean, of course, they knew that Drew was the guy, but I mean, a lot of the guys were already so supportive of Jameis Winston, just, taking the role of being a backup after being a starter for so many years. And now that he had the opportunity to take it, I just feel like this was just before the job was even announced. I think that he was already winning them over, because that's just who Jameis Winston is. They love his character, and, he's a funny guy. So I think that it was already there.
Yeah, I mean, could be. Yeah, that sounds right. So let's go on to these next tweets, because we got some more. People are just as excited about this one. Marcus Graves said, as he should be, Taysom Hill is great at what he does, and Sean Payton will continue to use Hill like he has in the past. But with Winston starting, it gives the Saints offense more options, and that's what we need. We need that option. Even with Drew, though, that last season, his arm was just not what it used to be. So like we're leveling up in this manner. So let's go on to this next tweet really quick, and then we'll circle back to see what Chris thinks. He's wearing the wrong hat today, though. He knew this was our topic. He could have at least worn a Saints hat, but it's still the Saints hat. Let me go on to this. Says, of course, Jameis Winston is named the starter for the Saints. There shouldn't have been a QB competition with Taysom Hill in the first place. It was low-key disrespectful to Jameis, and that's the one that I wanted to circle back to you on. Do you agree with that? Do you think making Jameis battle it out with this guy who's definitely not up to QB status was disrespectful?
I don't think it's disrespectful. I just think it was confusing. I wouldn't say it was disrespectful, because Taysom Hill, don't forget, he started a majority of the games last year, and though they were up and down for the majority, he was solid. His arm is a lot better compared to when we first got him. I don't think it was disrespectful. I just think it was just we all knew what the answer should have been. Like you mentioned, Drew Brees said it himself. Jameis Winston he's a lot younger. He's the future. Like, it just makes way more sense to go forward with Jameis Winston. But in the same sense, I'm not going to sit here and poo on Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is solid and good at what he does. So I don't think it was disrespectful. I just think it made no sense to go all the way to the last game of the preseason. I think that's the part I had a little bit of a problem with. But I don't consider it disrespectful.
See, I do, because I just don't think that Taysom is a quarterback. I think he has a couple of good short drop passes, and all of a sudden people go crazy. I mean, I think he did have one deep pass last season, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't like a Jameis Winston type arm. And it's just, that's not who he is. And I don't want him to end up like Tim Tebow and miss out on opportunities because he doesn't recognize who he is. I think I have one more tweet that kind of echoes that sentiment as well. Oh, no, this one. So Warren Sharp just says that there shouldn't have been a battle at all. He says, why do we need to make excuses for Taysom Hill in this quarterback battle? He started the first preseason game. He averaged 6.8 yards per, and he threw one pick, took one sack, 0 touchdown. Jameis had to play with the backups in week 1. It was Jameis' turn to start tonight. Nothing unfair. Taysom is just bad. So
all right, too far.
Yeah, he said Taysom is just... I don't think he's a bad football player, but I do not think he's a good quarterback. I don't think that is his goal, and that should not be his goal. He's not a starting
quarterback. I don't completely agree. He's just not a starting quarterback. That I will completely agree with. We talked about it on the show last year. We both, I mean, we were still winning, but we both didn't want it. We didn't want Taysom as our starting with Jameis right there on the bench. I think I think people were getting a little too. Now I think we're getting disrespectful towards Taysom. But at the same time, I agree on the fact that he's not a starting quarterback. Well, the dude got an arm and he can handle himself in certain situations if Jameis gets hurt and he comes into them. I'm completely cool with that. But when you have the option of Jameis Winston and you still go and start Taysom Hill the remainder of last season, I didn't like that too much. So I don't know. And that could also be a reason why there was a competition, because Taysom Hill was the starter and won all those games during the regular season last year. So it's like the whole Jimmy Garoppolo kind of thing. You got to give the respect to the guy who was winning the games the season before to compete with the other guy. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's all that we're making out to be, but the answer, we all knew what the answer should have been a lot sooner. Right. So I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect my man Taysom Hill, but I do agree that Jameis Winston was the flat out starter from the jump.
I'm just not going to consider it disrespect. No, it shouldn't even have been a competition. I agree with this next user though. It said, like, just read the signs that are on the wall. It says God given Taysom Hill all the signs to embrace being a full-time H-back and tight end.
Right. Don't mess that up.
Right? I think that's what it is. And he's fantastic at that. I do think, I mean, I don't even know if I feel 100% comfortable for Taysom to be the guy if Jameis goes out. We have to see. I just don't have the same level of confidence that you have in him. But I'm just glad to know that right now that doesn't matter. Right now, Jameis is our starter, and that's all I care about.
Right. All the odds and ends and stuff like that, you can go back and forth. Look, Jameis Winston's my starting quarterback. I've been asking for it. I even put my life on the line back on your show, and we're happy. I'm happy. So let's go, Jameis. So let's get it. That's all I care about. Who that?
Yeah, now I can get my who that? We out here. I can't wait to go get my Jameis jersey. I've been dying to get a Jameis
doing
jersey.
It. Well, which color are you doing? Which color are you doing? Are you gonna get the black?
I'm gonna do the black with the gold. What you gonna do? Gold with black?
All right.
Or the white?
I think I'll go with the white then. I have a lot of black jerseys anyway, so I do need to get a white one. So yeah, all right, for sure.
I was looking in my closet the other day, and I'm like, okay, I literally have black, white, gray, couple red, couple yellow. That's it. I don't have no other colors in my closet. I'm like, oh, I might need a gray jersey.
Wait, who's the gray jersey?
I don't have. It's not a gray jersey, but like all of my clothing. So my clothing in my closet is like black. The only red thing that I have is like I have 2 red shirts, and I have a ton of burgundy Cavs gear because I bought a ton of burgundy Cavs gear. Right. And then I have some Miami gear, and then most of the yellow I have is the Lakers. So most of my wardrobe color is dictated by where LeBron is gone. I feel like I need to diversify my wardrobe.
Right. Get some blue and orange in that closet. You know what I'm talking about? That'd be Knicks. I'm just saying diversify and get some, all right. We'll move on.
Let's move on. Let's go to the news. All right, because we talked about this one a lot too, about Damian Lillard. We know that he has that Supermax contract, so it's going to be hard to trade him. But he's been in every single trade talks. Even this week, we talked about him getting on that live and saying he's staying where he's staying in Portland right now. So it's constantly this, what are you really feeling? What's really going on in your head? Just tell us what it is kind of situation. I don't know if his recent quotes have helped with that. So let's just take a look at all 3 of these quotes. And to me, I feel like he's just going in circles. I don't know what he's saying. But when he's talking about the trade rumors, he says, you get to a position where it's like, do I defend myself or do I just say nothing? For me, when I'm just hearing stuff that's not the facts, I'm going to say I didn't say that. Okay, so anything that he hears that he didn't say, he's going to say he didn't say it. But I don't know if that still means anything, because this could be people close to him that are saying it, his agent that are saying, people that know him. Just because you didn't say it personally doesn't mean that it's not valid. That's how I take that. But let me go to this next one, and then we'll dissect all of these. So let's go to this next quote from him that says, some things I've just got to let it be said. I know what the truth is. I know where I stand. It's not my duty to make the public know. It's not my job to make them aware of what that is. Which kind of leads me back to then just say nothing then. Right? Like, I'm a little confused, but let's go to this very last one. And then, Chris, I want to get your thoughts on this. Right. Because I don't really know what's going on. He says, it definitely has been different. I feel like I've handled it like I've handled everything. I just let it happen. I let people talk. I just stay true to who I am, and I stand on that. If I say something, I stand on what I said. It is what it is at this point. Okay, well, what you initially said at the beginning of everything, before these trade rumors even started, was you were never going to leave Portland. Yeah. To me, the fact that you're saying anything at all kind of means that you're not so sure about that position anymore. Chris, what do you think?
I'm gonna take the words right out of our man, my Glock or whatever in the chat. He's saying at this point, Lillard just talking, and that's what it feels like because. Like you just like it says right there on the description, like he's talking in circles. So, and to your point, you're right. Just because, and I hate when athletes use that excuse, like if it didn't come out of my mouth, then it ain't the truth. Then, bruh, we know that you have an entourage. You know you have a circle. You have people that you might have mentioned it to, and they're doing their job. They're doing what they can do, get their little bit of ching, and they're gonna say it and deem it as anonymous. So that can be true to an extent, but we know that your people are gonna be talking. So. And I agree again, because like I said, you always on me with the points because I was going to say the same thing. The fact that you're saying anything, that tells us all that we need to know that it is in your mind that you are leaning on wanting out. And just because you haven't said, Damian Lillard, I would like to be traded. Just because you didn't say that verbally, right. The fact that you are speaking on it the way that you have been speaking on it or even entertaining this idea, that's all we need to know about it. And we get it. Like you said in your last quote, you'll stay for Portland for this season, fine. But that doesn't mean that this conversation is not going to continue, throughout this year and again in the offseason. It's just not because you're not helping your own case. So to answer your question, I still don't know what the hell he wants. Every time I think, okay, he's going to stay Portland, okay, he's going to get moved, he keeps going back and forth, flip-flopping. So I'm just in camp. He's going to get moved, and he's going to at least play the first half of the season with the Portland Trailblazers, and that's where I'm going to lock it up because I don't know how else to answer this question.
So you're thinking first half. So
yeah.
Yeah, you're just going to take the safe road. I said he would have to play this whole entire full season just because contractually that is a big contract to move. I also did say, though, that I think that right now, as we speak, there are conversations being had behind the scenes. And this is why he's talking in circles, because in his head, he knows that he's got his people looking for a way for him to get out. And he's probably conflicted with that, But and another part of it is he's already said, and this is the thing, you've said enough. You've said that Chauncey Billups can't come in there and change that team, that the way that y'all stand right now, you are not a championship team. So if nobody gets traded, if nothing changes, that's still your mindset as well. Yeah. So again, I agree with you. I don't know. I mean, at this point, just stop talking. You got some new music out. Right. Just stop talking. Yeah. Focus on your music. I just heard his new single. It's banging. Go check out the video on that.
It's dope. Yeah, for sure.
Focus on that during this off season.
I'm a little bummed, though, because, to me in my brain, I'm a huge Chauncey Billups fan. I feel like that is such a marriage waiting to happen of Chauncey Billups as the head coach with Damian Lillard. And hopefully, they come with some consensus that maybe the Blazers would actually get good players to put around. I just feel like that would be such a good marriage, but I feel like that ship has sailed. I don't think there's anybody you could have brought in. You could have brought in some of the greatest coaches for the entire coaching staff, and he still would want out. I just feel like that time is past, but it's just a little sad. I wish that they moved on the Chauncey Billups train 2-3 years earlier to go with Damian Lillard. I think that would have been fun because they're pretty similar in play style, and I just feel like Chauncey would get Dame and get the best out of him. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to be there long enough to be with Chauncey anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and
we got the super chat from Bailey.
I saw that, and I'm gonna shout you out because we see you, Bailey. We appreciate the $2.99. That's all you're going to get out of me, though, with that little shade in your comment.
So here's the thing, Jackie. He's unfortunately one of mine. I have to claim him. He is somebody who's very supportive over on my channel. He's doing it. He's doing this to get a response. He's trying to get a response because he knows we both Saints fans, and he be doing this in my chats too. But we appreciate the $3, bro. He's a Steelers fan.
Oh, you don't want us to go in on Steelers, sir. So next time, just round it up to $3, Mr. Man.
We'll take that penny. Right.
Give me my penny. Put some respect on that penny. All right. So yeah, I agree, Dame. Just stop talking. It's just
leave it alone.
Too much at this point. But that's all I got for Need to Know News. Let's get into the post up on this Friday.
It is time for the post up with your boy Chris here on this fine Friday. We have a fun list. I'm looking forward to go through this list, but we have to start with some drama. See, Jack, we need to work on these sound effects. I need a drama sound effect. Play some I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, shum.
I'll find something.
We'll find for sure. But
There you go.
There it is. Perfect. That was perfect. So here's the thing, man. We've known that there's been plenty of coach and player sagas throughout the years. You know, Kobe rest his soul, Phil Jackson. I mean, they mended their bridges and whatnot. But one of the most notorious ones, and even to this day in 2021, is none other than George Karl and Carmelo Anthony. Now, we know George Karl, along with a lot of Denver fans, feel a type of way about Carmelo Anthony and his exit to come to my New York Knicks. And that's just something that he's never going to let up on. He's gone as far as calling this man a ball hog, not a good leader, this, that, and the third. Well, with all that, this post came up about his push with the Lakers and his excitement of getting the championship. If we can get that first post up, him saying that this is the one thing that he's missing. This is the one thing that keeps him up at night, and that motivates me because I don't have it. And he's talking about the chase for an NBA championship. And I feel that, and as a Carmelo Anthony fan, if you have to be a Laker to get it, as long as you get a championship, I'm all here for it. I love Melo that much. I don't care if it's a Lake with the Lakers. But that's my opinion. You want to hear George Karl's opinion in 2021? Yeah, he's upset. He's still very salty and upset. And he said, and it kept our coaching staff up at night a decade ago when we were stressing the importance of team play and defense. Like I mentioned, George Karl has not held back his thoughts on Carmelo Anthony as a leader, as a defender, and as a ball hog. He has called this man a ball hog, and he has dragged his name for years and years and years. Don't believe me? Well, he took the KD route and responded to this guy who had tweeted to George Karl. Oh no, there's one right before this one. If we can get that tweet up, because this is the emphasis. If we have it, if we don't have it, there it is right there. So this Chris the lawyer guy said, "I'm sorry, what did you say, Mr. Karl?" And George Karl took the bait and said that Melo was a ball hog and a crappy defender in Denver, and you can tell that he didn't say crappy. I can't blur myself out because my sound effects don't work. So, yeah, the beef continues there. And then also, too, not too long ago, I think it was actually yesterday or the day before, Carmelo Anthony tries to retract a little bit. And even as a Carmelo Anthony fan, I wasn't really buying this either. But he had said that he never wanted to leave Denver. I never told people that. But it's like they put my back against the wall, and that was his opinion.
I agree with that.
Do you?
100% agree with that. And the reason why I agree with that is because I was in Denver. I lived in Denver when Carmelo was there, and he loved that city. He loved that team. He was happy there in that aspect. And so I believe that there's that sort of Dame effect when that's where you want to be, when the city embraces you, when you are living this rock style lifestyle, you don't necessarily want to leave that. The problem was, and this is the problem that I was in Denver when Carmelo was there, and we started to hear these narratives that, oh, Carmelo is not this, not that. They literally put the responsibility of that franchise on his back and said, okay, you're our guy from the moment he was drafted. And then it wasn't until, we get the Allen Iverson, and then all these other people, Birdman came, and then we started to build, but you didn't coach him into being this team player. You coached him into being the savior. You did that. And so you needed to figure out a way to coach him into now we're in a different position. Now we need to change up our coaching style. You didn't do that. You gave him one responsibility. He held on to that responsibility, and he was young enough for you to change it. That's your fault. But I 100% believe Carmelo when he said he wanted to stay in Denver.
See, and here's the only reason why it sounds like I'm going to be a bit of a Melo hater, but here's the only reason why I don't buy it is because that season he was going to be up to go and either get an extension or possibly become a free agent where he could then eventually land it with the New York Knicks if that's truly what he wanted. But the trade, the way it just happened so instantly, because remember, they had the All-Star break and there was the rumors out, but it was seeming like it was just a lot of talk. But then it just automatically, it just happened out of nowhere, taking everything out from the Knicks. And it was a good deal for the Denver Nuggets at the time. It worked out perfectly in their favor. But it just feel like because of the timing of what was coming with this contract and him possibly being a free agent, it felt like he kind of rushed it because I don't know. And he even said in another interview, I don't have that video up, where he was talking about, at the time the Knicks were rolling, which is true. Amari Stoudemire was top 3 MVP ballots. Raymond Felton was almost a all-star. Can never say that again. Our rookies were playing phenomenal. We had everything was going right for us at that time. And he even said he wanted to be a part of that. So it like you just said, it's almost like we're having a Damian Lillard kind of thing where it's like flip flop back and forth. Which one is it? Like I agree. Like I'm sure he loved Denver, the fan base, because they brought him in, they loved him, and it's the exact same thing as Damian Lillard. But at the same time, I still believe he kind of forced his way to New York in for that midseason trade to happen.
But at what point do you? I mean, I feel like this is like a mortality thing that we all go through. You know, when you get older, you start to think, "Damn, look at all the things I haven't done in my life." And yeah, he was still young enough to give that city more time. But do you want to give that city more time while you're young, or do you want to get out while you're young and possibly pursue a chance? Regardless of what anybody says, the move to New York was because he thought he had a better chance of winning in New York than he did in Denver. And I just can't hate on him for that, because at that time, look, before Carmelo came to Denver, you could go to a Nuggets game for $10. Right. Let me just be real. After he came, all of a sudden it was hard for us to watch games sometimes. We was definitely like the Washington Wizards at that time. When Carmelo came, it built up the franchise, it built up the city in ways that we owe that man a debt of gratitude, if I'm going to be 100 with it, because he changed the look of the Denver Nuggets. Half the reason why the people are talking about the Denver Nuggets in the first place at that time, let me take it back, not half, the only reason was because of Carmelo. But that was it. You know, he was by himself for a while. Yes, they started to build around him, but at that point, he had gone to the playoffs how many times, and it amounted to nothing. So I just still think that in his mind, it was like, let me get out while I'm young, because I have to, because otherwise I'm going to end up in this city with no ring. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what I think he felt.
Yeah, I mean, as a Knicks fan, I was happy about it. Obviously, I still have my opinions on the move, because I feel like it made us worse because of everything Melo talked about. Like we were rolling, but a lot of the reasons why we were rolling got sent to Denver in order to get him. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I'm sorry. I want to read Bailey. He gave us another $2.99, not a full $3, saying George Karl and Melo are both in the wrong. I believe George Karl is more in the wrong. But I do think that Melo he's a little bit back and forth. Say what?
I think George is 85% wrong.
85, 90% wrong. I'll only give 10% to Carmelo, because let me be real. At the end of the day, he became a Knick. Cannot be upset about that. But just as an NBA fan, I still feel like it could have just been handled differently. But as a Knicks fan, I'm not upset about it. I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. We could talk about this for the rest of the show. But yeah, chat, keep letting us know what you guys feel about them. I'll definitely be looking at those here in a little bit. But let's move on to the next one. And this is, speaking of beefs, a beef that y'all wanted to turn around and make that you guys believe was real, according to the internet. This goes back to what we were talking about yesterday with Karl-Anthony Towns. Apparently, there never was any beef amongst these two guys. I mean, they kept telling us, but we never wanted to listen. So Russell Westbrook, yesterday, 2 days ago, was James Harden's birthday. Was yesterday James Harden? Or was it? I can't remember. Was it Wednesday? It was Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday. Today's Friday, right? Yeah, okay. So Wednesday.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so Wednesday was James Harden's birthday. And his ex-teammate, his good bud, his ex-teammate in two ways, got him this crazy, is it Richard Mill? One, I can never say it because I'm not ever going to have one in my presence.
You don't know that. But, my Glock says it was yesterday. I could have sworn it was Wednesday. But
I thought it was Wednesday too. Regardless, James Harden's birthday, Russell Westbrook got him this nice watch. And you can see this was on James Harden's story. And he added him and then also added, "This ish goes forever with me, no cap. I appreciate you." He's talking about his relationship with Russell Westbrook. So shout out to Russell Westbrook. Crazy. That's a crazy gift. Great gift. But my question goes back to, does this just emphasize what we were talking about yesterday with Karl-Anthony Towns and how that social media can turn these beefs that are not even there, but because so many people talk about it and even the mainstream media will pick up on it and turn it into a thing, those two couldn't be teammates, rah, 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 rah. Seeing something like this, where obviously their friendship is way stronger than we could ever understand because we're not there, do you think that this just adds to Karl-Anthony Towns' point yesterday?
I think it does. And I think 99% of the time, the beef that we see in social media is not real. I do think the beef between Joel and Andre is real, though, and I'm just waiting to see how that one plays out. That's
gonna be weird. Yeah, me too.
But aside from those two, I think 90% of the time, and this is just in life in general, I have guy friends that I have seen get in full-on physical fights with their male friend, and then like a week later, they out having drinks and they squashing it. That is a guy thing that us women don't have that. Like once we beef for life. But I
Right.
think, I think that that's just and when you're talking about the level of play that these guys are on, there's a level of professionalism that's always going to probably trump whatever feelings that they have. But I think with James Harden and Russell Westbrook in general, we do not really understand their personalities. Because we see, on one hand, we see Russell, who's super aggressive when you say stuff out of pocket. I have a friend who is a reporter, says sometimes that Russell is rude to reporters that he don't like. Like maybe some of the reporter has said something in the past that Russell didn't like, and now Russell's just forever not checking for that reporter, and he's been rude to reporters. So that explains why we get this sense of Russ is a bad guy, because a lot of that does come from the media. And we've said that time and time again when we're talking about getting into the Hall of Fame, for NFL players, a lot of that time sometimes is difficult when you have a bad relationship with the media. I think that plays more into these situations, these players' relationship with media versus their relationship with each other. I think deep down inside for them, it's basketball. Once they've built that bond and they've tried to build something together, there's that brotherhood that's just not going to end. But we like to play into it because number one, it's a headline, and number two, it makes for drama, and people like that kind of drama. But I don't think any of these players have the level of beef that we would like to think they have. Kyrie and LeBron talk. And to me, that's weird because I'm petty, and I'll never forget when Kyrie was on the sideline pouting and not talking to nobody. Oh, I'm not talking to you ever. But they've laughed and talked since then. So it's just one of those things that the level of beef that people think that these players have, I just don't think they have.
Yeah, not in this era. I feel like like they all know each other to an extent. I completely agree. I don't think that there's, but I'm glad you brought up that Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond one. That one seemed pretty real. So Drummond, I don't know if he is just the world's greatest troll by accepting that deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. Even the pictures, that's a whole other conversation for another day. But Joel's face was like, what's up, bud? This is gonna be fun. Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I completely agree. I don't think there's any genuine, real beefs right now in the NBA as far as like, player to player. I know like fans like right now, and it being as a Knicks fan, there's a huge beef between Knicks and Hawks fans, and we've been going back and forth since that series. But as far as like player to player, I don't think there's much of that anymore in the NBA right now. A little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. There's still hope. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that's me speaking wishfully. Anyways, moving on to this next one, a beef that I would never want, and something that I gotta be real. Like, I'm happy about this next one I'm gonna show you guys, but I'm a little bummed out because I really hope that this turned into more. I said it yesterday. We showed a video of my new favorite, Prodigy. I've been looking everywhere to try to get his name. I can't find his name, but we're gonna call him Mini Steph. I showed you a clip of Mini Steph right here, literally carbon copy of Steph Curry. If you can make your own player in 2K, but then just slap on all of Steph Curry's animations, that's what this kid did. And so we showed you that video yesterday, and Steph saw it. The video's been up for a few days, and Steph Curry finally saw it. He posted it on his IG story of him recognizing the little kid, the little man. That's him right there in the Nikes, Steph. In the Nikes. And he said he really took the whole briefcase and then some with a bunch of fire hot emojis. And here's my thing, man. This better not be the end of this story. I told you, I want you to fly this kid out, Steph. Fly him out. Like, what else does this kid need to do to earn? He has your jump shot, your layup package. He has the ankle. He has everything. We've seen a little kid that you call Chunky Curry do less, and he got all this media attention. No, you gonna get this kid all your merchandise. You're gonna give him your shoes. You could. You'll give him his shoes. You'll let him go to a course. You gotta reward this kid because he is putting in the work. I really hope that 10 years down the line, we're still talking about him and he's out here doing his damn thing and possibly on his way to the league. That'd be fun. So I don't know. I'm happy about it. Good moment, but I really hope that there's more to this. And let me not be in your pocket, Steph. Let me not tell you what to do. I'm just hoping because I just think this is such a cool thing, and that kid's putting in the work, obviously. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But hey, still got noticed by Steph Curry. That's huge. Don't take that for granted. So don't listen to me. I'm just a grumpy old CK over
right
here.
Now, though, his mind is on his parents. He's probably not even.
You know what? I keep forgetting about that, huh? That's so true. You got that whole situation.
My mama out here got a whole new man, and
then one of his homies like, check out this video. He's like, yeah. Right. Yeah, that video's cool.
His whole like Christian life has been thrown all over the internet. Talking about your mom ain't that saved. She been out here. He dealing with a lot. So
that adds a whole element I didn't even think about. Bro. I didn't even think about that. I forgot how religious they really are. Oh no! Yeah, man, that opened up a whole door I completely forgot about. Oh Lord. Yeah, okay. So I guess I'll give you that pass then, Steph. But still, like, at least give him a pair of your shoes, man. At the very least, that's all I ask. Anyways, shout out to Mini Steph. I love it. I'm glad he got his attention. I hope he's over there jumping for joy. Hopefully, we get a video of his reaction scene. I don't know. I love this story. I love everything about that kid. So I want to see more of it. Anyways, so moving on from one kid to a next. Jake Paul. So their fight is Saturday. It's actually tomorrow. Their fight's coming up between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, and they had their final their final press conference, talking back and forth, throwing jabs verbally until the actual fight on Saturday, and it went as you expected. Jake Paul saying this, Tyron saying that, blah 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 blah. They do their little thing. And then according to Tyron, and then we did get confirmed later on, somebody in Jake's camp was talking a bit messy to his mama, who was out there in the crowd as well supporting. And this is what came of that.
You talking to my mom, man?
Yeah, he's talking to your mom. No.
I'll fucking slip you right now.
Do it,
my
then,
God.
do it then, bitch.
Grace.
Do it then.
Grace. Green
do it
light.
then, bitch.
Yeah. Green light.
Do it then, bitch.
This motherfucker move.
Do it then,
Green
bitch.
light. Green light. I know you the motherfucker. Put him in the air like an airplane. You a whole and a half. That's what you are.
All talk, this guy is. All talk.
And touch him. And touch him. And touch something to see what happens. I'll shake this fucking.
If y'all can see who it is, let me know. I'm trying to figure it out. I think it's.
No, get him now before he get fucked up. He's talking about my mom. Hey, please get there.
The show.
Hey.
Got a bit of a bodyguard battle. Bodyguard versus bodyguard.
Come on. Stop. We can sell the fight.
They're tussling for a bit. I want to get one part of it. Let's go for a little bit. Watch his response to this guy. This is my favorite part. Wait for it. Right here.
And now let me go. I don't know who you are, but let me go.
I don't know who you are, but let me go. Anyways, we can cut there, Leo. It's fine. It just goes on back and forth. They're going there, and that whole thing happened, right? So then that goes on for a few more minutes, and then when he's going to the hallway, he's not cooled down, but he got out of the building. He's still upset about it. He's pissed off, and then he has an altercation. I'm curious if it's this dude, because don't ask how I know. I've been looking back and forth, but this guy and Jake Paul have been trying to troll Tyron Woodley throughout the entirety of the preparation of this camp, the dude that he's about to have this altercation with. And please educate me because he seemed like he's acting as if he's someone that had previous beef with Tyron Woodley before Jake Paul. So if he's a fighter that fought him before, educate me and let me know in the chat. But he has another run-in with this dude in the hallway in this video right here. So check out this video.
Can we keep origin it?
And you know better, nigga. It's my motherfucking mom, nigga. You know better than that shit, Karl.
Don't say shit to your motherfucking mom.
You know that ain't cool.
I ain't say shit to your motherfucking mom.
I didn't say you did, but you know it ain't cool. Check that shit, dog.
Hey, I ain't saying shit to you.
I'm saying check that. I'm saying check that on some G shit. You a fucking whole bitch.
Kick his ass, Woodley.
Yeah, so he hot because, like I said, he's in Jake Paul's camp. The dude he's talking to, he's in Jake Paul's camp, and he's saying you should have been on top of that. You should know when it's too far. And which I completely agree with. So, lots to unpack here, Jackie Ray. So, seeing this initially and hearing his response to it and blah, 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 what are your thoughts? Just let it all be known how you feeling about the entire craziness.
I mean, I don't care who it is at this point. I'm side with anybody who's going against the Paul brothers, just period. I don't even care what's happening. I don't care. But I do agree. Like, it's one of those things where, you're talking crap. It's part of the game. It especially the games that the Jake Paul and them play. They do that. They say things intentionally to try to get a reaction out of you.
Right.
But here's the tricky thing about the mom jokes. If you don't know that person personally, those are never going to be received well because you don't know what's going on in that person's family. You don't know if that mom is sick. You don't know if you don't know any of that. So mom jokes are just to help y'all out in the chat. Those are exclusively reserved for people either in your family or are super close to you to the point where they're almost family. Those people get a pass on the mom jokes. Everybody else, especially people I don't like, no passes. So I know this seems like super juvenile, but that's just how it goes. When you don't know me like that, you just don't know me like that. And I think people might miss that. I agree with what Tyron said about the guy. I do believe he's a boxer. I can't remember his name.
Okay, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Okay, so I was hoping the chat was going to help us out, but
he looked vaguely familiar, but I didn't get a long enough or close enough look at him to say that for sure.
Yeah.
But if we're right and he is a boxer, or even if he's just a trainer, he knows how it goes. You're supposed to shut that down. There's a level of respect that you're supposed to have just in general, and that we just didn't see here. So it is one of those things though. If Tyron go in there and get beat down, then it's gonna be like, oh God, now
it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah, I couldn't say it better. No, I completely agree with you. Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I told you, I'm done giving this kid disrespect. Huh?
Are you paying for it?
Are we live? Yes, I'm gonna pay for that fight because that is the right thing to do. Showtime. Here on the Fumble, we pay for fights, so we're gonna make sure that we pay and watch that fight. Showtime. All right, next story. Jackie Ray. It's a Jackie Ray show because we going back to Denver with this next one. So actually, there's a bit of ties for this one for you, Jackie Ray. I know you ain't no Broncos fan, but I know you keep your eye on them because it's like me. Like I ain't no Giants fan, but I be paying attention to what the Giants and Jets be doing. I know I get it. So yesterday it was officially announced that Teddy Bridgewater was going to be QB1 for the Denver Broncos. Now, like the reason why I said that this goes back and forth for you is because you was loving Teddy with us, right? And now he's on the Broncos, and now he took Drew Lock's spot. So Drew Lock is feeling the type of way. Drew Lock, I feel like this is actually a lot more split than I expected. I didn't understand. I didn't realize that Drew Lock had so many supporters. People have been believing it since he was drafted that Drew Lock's going to be a future for this team. He finally got the reins, and he was home with it. He's still young. I think that there's still time for him. But right now, Drew Lock is the backup to none other than Teddy Bridgewater, and this was his response to that.
I'll go ahead and just say something first. One, obviously, it's disappointing. Every feeling that you could possibly have at this point in this day and this circumstance, they're running deep. I feel like at the time I was playing some of the best football I've played since I've been in the league. I was more confident than I'd ever been, and most of you guys think of me as a confident guy, but I was probably more confident than I've been, since I've been in the league and this OTAs, this training camp, this preseason, and this, such a special team. I was, hoping and looking forward to being able to lead this team, but, no finger pointing, no negativity. It's going to be about me finding ways to still, make this team great, whether that's, in practice, working with Teddy, trying to find ways for him to get better, whatever he needs me to do. That's pretty much my goal, look in the mirror, see what I need to get better at, figure out what it is to, keep progressing, keep getting better, not take.
You start with that farmer tan. If you're looking in the mirror trying to figure out what to get better at. You start with that farmer tan. What is, and then the medium shirt.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you out there with your girl's shirt on, man? You are a professional football player trying to be QB1, and that's what you out there in. Like, I don't understand it. Anyways, yeah, we could talk about that in more depth. But yeah, Jackie Ray. So Teddy Bridgewater getting the starting spot over Drew Lock. Now, the only thing I agree with Drew Lock on, the only thing I agree with him on, this is it. And I'm happy that Teddy's starting, but the only thing I agree with him on is that he never really got that opportunity to of continuity with this team, because the year prior he was fighting for a starting spot. Then he eventually got it, and then he rolled with it. He finally got a full year where he started, and though they weren't great, they had some moments where people were like, "Oh, watch for the Broncos," and now here we go yet again where you lose the starting spot. So in that standpoint, especially because he's such a young quarterback, in that standpoint, okay, I'll give you that. But at the same time, you know, Teddy Bridgewater got himself a nice little resume, even though he didn't have a good year. It was an okay year with Carolina, but he had a solid few games with us in New Orleans. He had a great start to his career before the injury in Minnesota. You knew that it wasn't going to be a cakewalk in you getting this starting spot. So how are you feeling about Teddy Bridgewater getting it? You think it was a mistake by the Broncos? Do you think it's the right move? How do you feel about his response? Miss Denver, talk to us.
I think it's the absolute right move, and there's obviously a level of bias because I don't like Drew Lock. Just as a human being, I don't like him. So
amen.
There's a level of me just not caring anything about what that man has going for him. That being said, though, he, like you said, he is a young quarterback, and so he should. Some of the things that he said in that speech right there just bothered me. Like, oh, this is the most confident I've ever been. This is the most confident you've been in practice. In practice, you want me to care about how confident you are when it doesn't matter? Because we haven't seen you have that level of confidence when you actually playing. So keep practicing, if that's the thing. That's number one. Number two, when he said, oh, I'm going to continue to work, including with Teddy. Teddy, if I could give you some advice, don't listen to nothing this man say, because I like what Black Light Zen said. Don't forget he's little Mr. All Lives Matter. And when I tell you this man's going to try to sabotage you in every way possible, don't listen to him. I don't care if he's giving you gold. You better go find some gold from somebody else. That I don't trust this person at all. He's going to try to sabotage you. Every time this man talks, it makes my skin crawl. I am not a Drew Lock fan at all, and I don't like him. Period. So
no, I get that. That's what I was saying. What I was saying is I just understand that standpoint as a quarterback in the situation he's in. It had nothing to do with Drew Lock. From that standpoint, when you're a young quarterback and you finally get the opportunity, like I get it. But I'm with you. I'm happy Teddy Bridgewater got the job. I'm sure. I don't know how Broncos fans feel about it. I ain't gonna assume and whatnot how they feel about that. But yeah, it is what it is. We're sticking to football, and we're actually continuing off of something that you talked about yesterday with Cole Beasley, and how he's upset because of the mask and the blah 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 blah. You guys know the story about Cole Beasley, but we had this response to Cole Beasley on Twitter, and I want to read it to you guys. I want to hear what you guys think about this. This guy's name is maybe Xavier, I guess. And he said, Cole Beasley on the Bird app, talking about Twitter, asking what the point of a mask is when he was wearing it around someone who tested positive while he tested negative. This is a brain that needs to be donated to science. I think that is the perfect response to it, because and Jackie went in perfect depth with that yesterday. I implore you guys, after this is done, you guys go and check out what we're not going to do yesterday, because Jackie killed this. We're talking about Cole Beasley. But yeah, it just makes zero sense. I love this response to that. I don't want to go into too much, but if you want to add something to that, because I think he's right. Like, they just the amount of sense that Cole Beasley went on there with, and it seems like he believes so much of what he said. It's just crazy to me. It just makes absolutely no sense. But I love this tweet. We had to talk about that.
Yeah, I've got nothing to say. That is 100%.
That's the guy.
Correct. Like, could that maybe be why you did it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, let's I'm gonna leave that alone. Anyway, so moving on to this next one. I thought this was funny. We got a little bit of Inception going on. My man Jose Ramirez. He can we get the picture of Leo? He's wearing a chain, or actually the tweet. Sorry, Leo, that's the first one. I'm so sorry, I forgot what. Yeah. So Jose Ramirez is wearing a chain with a picture of himself holding the chain in last night's game. Now, let me tell you the amount of First of all, I think this is kind of baller. I ain't gonna front with you. I don't know if I could do it, but I mean, to have the confidence to do this, I think it's kind of cool. He out there wearing a chain of himself wearing the chain. If you guys can't really see it, so here he is wearing the chain. You can see it slightly with him in the back holding it. If you guys can't see it, let's zoom in on it. He's wearing. It's a different chain. I thought it'd be better if he was wearing the same chain, and it's a never-ending loop. That was the only knock on this in this entire meme or whatever you got going on. But I love it. I don't hate it. I have nothing ill to say against about this. Jackie, how you feeling about this? You think it's tacky? You think it's cool? What you feeling?
I mean, I don't care. I don't never care about it. I would have been like you. I mean, it would have made me laugh at least if it was this everything like chain within the chain within the chain.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, ha ha, that's funny. But I mean, that's the equivalent to me when people get their name tattooed on themselves. Do you not know your name? Are you gonna get drunk? Where you gotta look over at your arm and be like,
that's just a different level of stupid. I don't understand
like, why
that.
are you wearing yourself? Like, I just don't. I don't. Okay.
But see, you could take that off. I just think it was funny. I don't know how serious that is to him. I thought it was a bit funny. A little bit of a blinkception there. And then we got one more, last but not least, sticking to the Padres. I got beef when we got fans fighting, like same fans fighting themselves. Like we showed the whole Ram situation at home, the home girl egging it on with her little COVID drink and whatnot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know that there was a big series between the Cavs, the Padres and the Dodgers. Didn't go so well for the Padres in the last one, and I guess they were so pissed off that they decided to take it out on themselves. That's all I got for that. So let's run that video so you can see how stupid this looks. I just never understand it.
Right.
Like, I never understand it. With the scream, sorry, the scream. Is the one getting hit? Scream with this? No, there's no one. There's just guys in the fight. All right, yeah. So I don't even know who. Yeah, and then they go back and beef, and look, he's squaring up like he about to do something. They're all Padres fans.
Right.
It makes zero sense to me. I don't understand it. I would never go. You know how many blowout Knicks games I've gone to, either in the Garden or even at the Staples Center, sitting next to Knicks fans, and the first thought is not in my mind. If I see Julius Randle miss a shot and we're down by 30 points, is not I'm taking you out, Jimmy. Like, that's not. I don't understand this. I don't know if there's some other beef going on. I don't know. I don't care, because to me, this is the stupidest thing. It never makes sense. And I feel like, I don't know. I hate it. It makes no sense. And also another thing too, I can't stand when people are screaming and you're not even in the situation. What the hell is the screaming going to do? What is the screaming going to do? If someone's trying to call for help, all we can hear is screaming, then you are interrupting the situation. I don't understand people. Okay, cool. What are you going to do about it? That's something that always irritates me, but fan on fan fighting, like, it just makes zero sense.
The screaming people are the same ones that would fall down and just and have to crawl when Jason is running after him, like, oh God!
Oh my God! Yeah,
right. I don't understand that.
I don't understand. Yeah, that run to show that
you think if you don't think you can win the fight, don't get in the fight. I'm gonna assume in a stadium full of people, I can't win that fight.
You would think in a stadium full of your own fans and your own, fellow Padre fans, you wouldn't have to. That's all I got. But Jackie Ray, that's what I would not do. But can you tell us what you're not gonna do?
Yes, let's get into more of what we're not gonna do. Because this one is another. We're gonna have to start with another stupid headline, because that seems to be a theme this week. So let's take a look at this dumb headline. It says, Florida State Seminoles deemed to have the most offensive college mascot. Here's the thing. When you get the term most offensive, that means there's a list. Why are we compiling a list of this? And I am exactly right. There is actually a full-on list that this company went out and did. So I don't even know if I wrote down the name of the company, but it's a branding company that decided to go out and do a survey and see what the most offensive mascot is. I can tell you off top when it's a marketing company. Oh yeah, here it is. So the name of the marketing company is Quality Logo Products, and they surveyed 1,266 people about which of the 128 college football mascots were the best, the worst, the sexiest, the creepiest, and the most offensive. So this is something that kind of leads me back to something that I had said before. A lot of these companies that are going on this whole inclusion, equality, they want to be pro Black Lives Matter. That has nothing to do with who they are at their core. That is all a marketing ploy. And right now, seeming like you give a damn is marketable. It's not about what you actually believe. That's the only reason a marketing company would take this kind of survey. So that's number one. Number two, if you on your list of things you want to survey are saying, let's see what people find the most offensive, then what comes after that? There's just a period after that? Like, let me go out and find the most offensive mascot and then put the list out and cross my hands and do nothing. Like, what is the point of the list? If you're not going to do something about the list, don't give me the list. Send this list to somebody that can do something about it. But there's 12 teams on there that have the most offensive list. So I'm going to show you this first one because this, to me, in my head, if something is fictional, if it's not a real person, if it's a character. So obviously we've been talking about Denver all day. I'm from Denver. This is the Denver Nuggets mascot. It's Rocky the Mountain Lion. He's cute. He's fun. He's animated. He gets out there. He does these over-the-top basketball things. He'll buy people big, giant stuffed animals that they're supposed to take home. He's just really dope. He's an animated character. I love that. But the Florida Seminoles mascot is not a mascot. It's a real person. It's a full-on human being. So off top, yes, this is offensive to me. When you're talking about somebody, now in my head, I feel like they tried to represent and tried to make it look like an actual Seminole. And I feel like they thought they would give them a pass. I'm going to just default and say, I don't know. I actually haven't talked to any Seminoles. I haven't talked to any Native Americans to see how they feel about this. But I'm going to tell you right now, if it was blackface, I would have a problem. Like, you're just not going to have, so there's a level, because this is just appropriating the culture. And a Seminole has nothing to do with your team, because it's just a whole different thing. It's just very offensive to me. There are things in this list that I didn't realize could potentially be racist. One of the ones that I didn't have time to look into was the Villa the Warrior for the University of Hawaii. Apparently that one is racist as well. I don't know why. I have to look into it. But here's the full list. So like I said, I only took a picture of the top 10, but there's 12 offensive items on this list. And now shouts out to the people who actually took time. But look, again, 12 on the list. So in my opinion, if you put out this list, at the end of the list, it should say something to the effect of, we've contacted the universities and made them aware of what people find offensive. We're working with this organization, that organization, to see what we can do to change out these something. But what else am I supposed to do with this list? Now, to be fair, if you look on there, let me see what number they are. Number 9 is Pistol Pete, which I knew Pistol Pete, and I was like, well, what's wrong? This Pistol Pete's funny to me. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I see Pistol Pete. That's funny as hell. Because every time I see Pistol Pete, I'm like, that's got to be so hard to walk around in that big giant head. And so it just makes me laugh because I think it's a little funny. So again, like I said, when it's a character and it's not a human being, to me, I'm like cool with it. But no, Las Vegas has already taken steps to remove Pistol Pete because UNLV said they're retiring it, and they did this back in January. They're keeping the Rebels name, but they said the decision to retire the mascot comes after UNLV removed a statue of Pistol Pete because of his Confederate roots. Oh, again, wow. I had no idea. So knowing this about your team is dope to me. Like, I think that's great. There's another one that has Confederate roots in there. Pistol Pete. And then the other one that's on there, if you guys saw number 3, so this guy, that's Pistol Pete, that's the other one. So they're removing all of that. So I'm not mad at people actually going in and doing their research and figuring out what's racist and what's not racist. I am very much a fan of removing everything racist, even though I know that does nothing to actually change racism. I know that. And I want to make that clear that I know that. But I do think that we need to move to a time where we just don't have a whole bunch of racist idols in our world. I just think that we need to move towards that. My thing is this: what we're not going to do is just make a list and see what mascots we want to stay away from for marketing purposes. If we're not going to make a list and then try to move towards change, don't make the list. That's all I got to say about that. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, the fact that you need a list, I think that's the problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that if you have that many names, it's one of those things like, when you do pros and cons and then you start writing the cons and you realize that you're on con like 8, you're like, okay, maybe it's time for me to stop doing whatever this thing is that I'm trying to do pros and cons. I was going to ask you about Pistol Pete. I was like, I don't know who Pistol Pete is, but what's wrong with Pistol Pete? But hearing that, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's crazy to me. So yeah, the fact that you have to have a list, to me, I think that's when you got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, yeah, maybe it's time to cut not some of these, but all of these out, and we need to look into a lot of these things, because it's gonna be a problem that's going to keep happening, and it's going to keep being talked about until you guys do something about it. So yeah, I think the fact that there's a list, that's square one. Time to get rid of the names on the list.
Yeah, Jeremiah says he feels like if you have to do research, then it's not racist. That is 100% incorrect, because just because you don't know that it was founded in racism doesn't mean that racism is not there. So please change that mindset going forward. That's all we've got for the Fumble Live today. It was a great week. We had so much fun. We did not have fan or foul. We will let you know on Monday if we're going to resume that. But you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't be weird. And we will see you on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you Monday. Y'all be safe.
Peace. A good weekend.
Weekend.